Good evening, Entrefluencers. Welcome to the Entrefluential Life podcast. I'm your host, John Tanner.
And I'm your co-host, Sebastian Tanner.
How's it going today, Sebastian?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. What did you end up doing today? Did you go eat seafood?
I did go eat seafood. Yeah.
What restaurant did you go to?
145 degrees seafood broil.
Oh, that's right here in the town center. Oh, yeah.
It was great. The food was great, and by the end, we got Cajun hot, the flavor.
Ooh.
We got a bucket.
Ooh.
By the end of it, it was getting to me, the heat. Yeah. Kind of like the show Hot Ones, where they have the hot wings, and then towards the end, it starts to hit them a little bit differently. Those flavors, like the spices. Similar story. You know, that Cajun was good at first, but then towards the end, I could feel it. It's gonna messing up my stomach a little bit.
Oh man!
And it was worth it. And the food was great, and it was like $26 for like one of those specials that it had with some crabs, sausage, potatoes, corn, shrimp, half a pound of shrimp.
Oh, so, wow. It's like a boil?
It's a boil,
seafood boil? Exactly. Okay, Cajun seafood boil, okay. That's awesome,
It was good, man. Yeah, it was great.
Well, I've never been there. Did you see on the menu if they have catfish by any chance?
I didn't look.
Oh, okay.
I went there for one reason.
What's that? Yeah. So there's crabs, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it was great. The only thing I will say though is the ambiance. They could have had some music in the background or something, you know. Maybe because it's the day shift. Maybe at nighttime they change the ambiance a little bit. But maybe it was a bit quiet. So.
Oh, okay. So not very entertaining.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, the waiter was great and did a great job, very friendly, and the food was delicious. So
good. Well, as long as the food quality was good,
exactly.
Right? Nice that, right?
The food was right. The price was right. It's all gonna be there.
Oh, okay. The price was right too. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, speaking of food, you owe us a video.
Oh, the guacamole. Oh no.
The peanut butter.
The breakfast oatmeal recipe.
Yes, the PB2 or PBB.
With the PB2, with the powdered peanut butter.
Powdered peanut butter,
So I have the day off work tomorrow, so tomorrow we're going to shoot the video.
Okay, all right, that sounds awesome. Let's do that.
We're going to shoot it tomorrow, edit it, and hopefully we'll have it uploaded by tomorrow night.
So that means that we're going to give Sebastian 2-day grace so that he can come up with the video production.
That's right.
So, all right, cool. Yeah, man. So last week we went to Cooper's Hawk. We did the wine tasting over there. That was amazing, wasn't it?
And we tried a new variety this time.
Yeah, we did.
Some of them you had before. I never had them. So.
Yeah, there was a couple of them. Yeah, the Grateful White and the Grateful Red. Yeah,
those delicious. Everything. Even the one where they started off with was a hot wine.
Oh yeah, that was really good, right?
Surprisingly delicious. Kind of reminded me of like a hot apple cider or something, you know?
Yep. And then, I really enjoyed that one. And then everything. I enjoyed every single one that we had that night. And then after the wine tasting, then we went to the back bar and we had the appetizers.
So pizza.
Oh my gosh, it was so good, right?
So freaking amazing.
And then the other two wines, the pretzels.
And those
pretzel
bread
is amazing
too.
Right? I don't even remember what they were, but like I just want to buy a bottle.
One of them was different.
Barrel Reserve.
Yeah, Barrel Reserve.
Yeah, there were two different Barrel Reserves.
Yep.
Oh my god, we gotta go back and get it and try that again.
Yeah, that was delicious.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was fun. We had a good time, didn't we?
That was great.
We talked about the real estate business, and we were talking about like our planning, our ideas, which we can't really talk about right now. We have to wait until our team is built out, and then we'll start doing the Wind Down Wednesdays, and we'll have behind the scenes meetings, so you can see what our strategies are that we're pushing forward. But right now it's hush hush confidential because we don't want to let the cat out of the bag and then be copied, right? Because there is competition out there, and we're alert to that. We're aware of that, so we have to be mindful of what we say and what we do. But we had a great meeting while we were having the wine tasting.
Absolutely, yeah, I got me really excited for it.
I'm excited, man. It's freaking great. I'm so happy. I'm like ready to just jump on it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So today, what's our physical? By the way, I read another article from Harvard Business School, and I'm bringing that information. So I titled this series. Oh my gosh! Look who's here!
Oh wow!
Adrian's online. Let me just say hi, Adrian. So yeah, I titled the podcast episode behind the question that we're going to ask is how how can you find like great customers and that offer the best lifetime value, right? And using algorithms.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to tackle today.
Nice.
It's really good information. All right. So what you got, man? What are you bringing to us today?
All right, so the physical tip of the day is going to be another recipe. So I want to try to make a pattern of doing these recipes. Right now, I've been kind of on a breakfast vibe for the recipes. So I have another breakfast recipe.
I noticed that on the text. I was like, what is this?
Another breakfast. So I have all kinds of things. I'm like thinking, what am I going to do today? And I've made so many different meals for breakfast that those are the first things that are coming to mind right now. So maybe for the next few weeks, I'll do breakfast, maybe like for four episodes, and then every 4 episodes, I'll switch it up. So the next ones that we do, I'll do a lunch. So I'll do lunch recipes, and then after that, I can do dinner recipes, and then maybe mix in some snack recipes in there too.
Yeah.
That way you have different meals for different times of the day.
Because we eat multiple times a day, don't we?
Yeah, we like variety. You're not going to have pancakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Of course. So what you got?
So I have a breakfast burrito for gaining.
Okay.
So if you want to gain weight, you want to gain muscle, anything like that, you're trying to make gains, this is going to be the burrito to start off your day with. You have a flour tortilla. You can use the Mission brand. That's the one that I'm familiar with. I like it. It tastes good.
Okay.
And it's 200 calories for the burrito, for the tortilla.
Okay.
It's 4 egg whites, 2 whole eggs, and 4 ounces of 80-20 ground beef. So in total, you have 700 calories.
Wow.
So it's a lot different than our last recipe.
So this is for
bulking up.
Bulking up. Okay.
Exactly. So you want to bulk up. This is a great way to start the day because you're gonna. One of the big things about bulking up that a lot of people try to do is they want to you want to add more to what your calorie intake is per day.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is like really skinny or whatever the case is, or just people that want to just build more muscle, whatever it is, you want to have a little bit more calories.
Okay.
And so if you're losing weight, you want to go less on the calories, calorie deficit. When you're gaining weight, you want to up those calories. You want to, if you're having 2,000 calories a day, if you're burning
2,000 calories a day, then you want to go above. You want to
because you want to gain exactly. So that's why it's important. So like on MyFitnessPal, you can track your workouts and with your diet.
Okay.
So if I'm having a 400 calorie dish of whatever, and I burn 400 calories in my workout, it's going to subtract. It's going to do the math for me. So it's going to always tell me how many calories I have remaining.
Okay, so you want to have if I'm trying to burn weight, I want to
be in a deficit.
If I consume 2,000 calories, I want to burn 2,000 calories, right? Or more. I want to burn
even more.
I want to burn 2,500 so I can burn down.
Exactly.
So
you
lose weight.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite when you want to stack up.
When you want to stack up, you just do
want to burn less calories and take in a whole lot more.
Exactly.
So you want to take in like 3,000 calories of food and only burn 2,000 calories.
Exactly. That's so then you would have had like
1,000
calories or something.
Right, you're adding 1,000 calories.
Exactly. The math right now isn't exact, but it's around the ballpark figure. More or less. You just want to be in a surplus, a caloric surplus.
Okay.
And when you're losing weight, you want to be in a caloric deficit.
Okay.
So that's
So this is good this is good for weight gain. This is good for building muscle.
Building muscle, exactly. And you got the egg whites in there. You got the whole egg, the 4 ounces of the ground beef. And I don't have the exact macros for this. Later on, I can start adding them into it.
Yep.
But the whole thing is 700 calories.
Okay. So why don't you tell our audience, where did you get that information from?
This information?
Of what? That recipe. Did you just
I just did it myself.
Okay.
This is a recipe, so there's a lot of recipes. The last one that I got, I forgot to credit. I learned the first recipe from Will Tennyson. He's a YouTuber that I like to watch.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Like if you have like somebody that the audience should be paying attention to, let's throw a name down there and give them credit for it so that they can, go and find that resource to gather more information, right? Because we like to introduce information to our audience, but then we need to give them where they can go to find more information, like deep dive.
Exactly. So today's recipe comes from moi.
Yep.
And last week's recipe comes from Will Tennyson. He's a YouTuber. You can subscribe to his YouTube
Will
channel.
Tennyson. Okay.
He makes a lot of fitness videos and food-related videos too.
Maybe you can find a link and then email it to me, and then I'll upload it onto the YouTube studio.
To the episode where he has.
That would be awesome.
Because he has all kinds of things where he does certain meal plans and et cetera, et cetera. He tries different recipes. He tries other people's recipes.
Perfect.
And so that morning oats was something that I learned from him.
Oh, cool.
And so that's where I got the idea. He's the one that told.
Dude, I want to try that so bad, especially at night, because like I love freaking milk and cookies. I love ice cream
too,
and I want to eat like healthy, good, good quality junk food. Like I want that sweet taste at night.
And that'll give you that. So it's for breakfast, but you can have it at night as a late night craving too, because it has the honey and the yogurt, the Greek yogurt. It adds that sweetness aspect to it. And you look at it, it looks like an a la mode. You look like, trick your brain. You think you're having a brownie a la mode or something.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So
that's what I want to go for. Yeah, something like that.
Delicious.
Now, there is a company that, I don't have the name on the top of my head, but when I was working as a front office manager at the Holiday Inn, I had received an email from a company where they make ice cream, but it's a healthy alternative, organic type of ice cream.
Really?
Yeah, so it actually has, I don't know, like protein in it or something. Like it's actually a healthy alternative. And so like I need to find, I think I might have his information on my LinkedIn channel. I have to look and see, but I'm going to find out because a healthy ice cream would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Exactly. I mean, it's all about finding those healthy recipes of eating the things that you love the most. So so many people think that, like I said last time, you got to eat very bland foods with no seasoning and stuff like that. But you can have
that doesn't work, man. Like who's gonna continue to eat bland food over and over
again? That's why people don't stick to their diet.
Yeah, because
that's why I haven't stuck to my diet for basically my whole life. I've tried diets and I never really stick with it because I get onto things that I don't like.
Right.
And so it's just like in school or anything that you're learning.
You gotta learn
about what you like,
stuff that you
really engage into it.
Right.
So when you find a food that you like that meets your health and your physical needs, you're gonna have a much better time and quality to enjoy the diet that you're on.
I think the other thing is you really need a reset, a reboot, and so like a fast, like the Daniel fast, 21 days of fasting. Before you go and switch into that completely new healthy lifestyle of eating is very beneficial because after you go through a fast, you don't want to eat crap. You don't want to eat junk. Your body has become, and it takes self-discipline to do it, but your body, it's a sacrifice, but then your body is prepared now to shift into like a new healthy eating mode.
Exactly. I mean, at that point, anything you eat is going to taste good. Just like people that are starving or the people that like when we were watching Iron Man.
Don't feed a dog for a week and see if it.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
Don't eat the dog food, right?
I remember seeing an Iron Man where Tony Stark just got back from being held captive.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, all I want is a burger right now."
Oh yeah.
But that's a win for the fast food people. But really, it's the same concept of like when you've been starving. Anything that you eat tastes good.
Yeah.
So once you do that fast after eating so much junk food,
you'll be
fast,
prepared.
And you do that.
Yep.
Exactly. It'll make it anything. You'll have some broccoli. If you hate broccoli, you might like it.
Right. So. Exactly. But we do want to I heard somebody talking about meal planning and doing like chicken and broccoli, and like nobody wants to do chicken and broccoli all the time. So you gotta come up with fun things to eat.
Exactly.
Like there's things that
there's all kinds of people out there creating content with making meals that are like your favorite foods that are so unhealthy at the restaurants, but they make it that fits the macros and they make it healthy.
So you look for those recipes, you come up with a plan of action, actually buy the stuff, do your meal planning.
You gotta take the time to cook.
So it's easy, it's ready to go, right?
Yeah, if you meal prep it, you have
meal prep
ready and
it'll be so much easier to consume it, right? Because all you gotta do is heat it in the microwave.
Exactly.
Boom, done, it's ready for you.
Absolutely.
I think that that's something that we need to get into. Like I know I need to get into doing that. And I feel like if I go ahead and I spend the money, like if I go to a health food store, buy the ingredients, prep it the way it's supposed to be prepped, try different things out.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe 1 week I'll try a couple of different recipes. Next week I'll go for something else, right? Yeah. You've got options. There's a lot of options today. It's not like back in the old days.
Exactly.
Where you had lean cuisine and that was it.
I know.
Now
that's not even that great for you. So it's much better. It's
too much sodium,
sacrifice
right?
The time. I mean, those things. You gotta look at the back of the box. Some of them might have almost 2,000 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah, sodium.
That's your daily recommended, I believe. It's on 2,000.
Yeah,
I think I don't know if I'm 100%.
I think it's preservative. I think sodium, they put a lot of salt to work as a preservative.
They do a lot of stuff to preserve those foods to keep them
not healthy, not the healthiest option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
the only good thing about it is that your portion control.
You know, I've tried some of those meals, and sometimes they're so small.
Yeah.
Didn't even do anything for me.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
again,
you
that's
know,
body
that's-
conditioning.
It's but it's yeah. I feel like some of those meals is almost like having like a little snack.
Yeah.
And you're having, depending on what you're having, what you're putting in, the macros that are on the back, you might want to have 3 of those, and so then you might intake 5,000, 6,000 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah,
that's like having a
your
few
body.
ramen packs. You know,
Yeah, that's got to be horrible for your liver,
Exactly.
your kidneys. Like your internal organs must suffer from that. So anyway, but there's like
it's better to make it fresh yourself.
exactly
At the end of the
fresh
day.
food,
And you can also
whole, organic.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So,
organic is better. You don't know. Sometimes there might still be some GMOs here and there, and whatever into things, but
yeah.
you go organic. It's
And now we got Fresh Market, we got Sprouts.
There's
There's
all kinds of
places to
options,
go and order and buy good quality food.
Yeah.
And then do your meal prepping so that you can just plug and play essentially.
And sometimes, it can take extra time to make a certain meal for like a certain breakfast or a lunch or whatever. Like when you do the meal prepping place, you can make a meal, or you can just meal prep the ingredients themselves. So meal prep a whole bunch of chicken, a bunch of ground beef.
Oh, and then have
meal
that
prep
in
the
a
veggies,
container.
meal prep this, put them in
That makes
containers.
sense, man.
That way you're not taking the time to put the meals together.
Yep.
You just make them individually, put it in the fridge, take them out, and then you can have. If my breakfast has this, I combine this, and then I can use it for my lunch and use it for my dinner.
Right. That's a good strategy too, especially if you're cooking for a whole family as well.
That way, it's already ready.
Yeah.
Just meal prep the chicken.
I like it.
Meal prep the things that take the most time to cook, and then once you go for your meal, you can do the little finishing touches that take a couple minutes.
Dude, I'm actually getting hungry talking about all this.
I know. All right, but that's it for the physical tip of the day.
All right,
that was
cool,
good.
man.
Go shopping, cook the stuff yourself. That's the best way.
Yeah.
And find what
I'm guilty, man. I had freaking Domino's today. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I'm so guilty right now, man. I should have eaten like fresh chicken or something.
I had half a slice. I'm on the same boat.
At least you ate some seafood, though, man. That's protein right there.
It was some protein, some spice that I'm gonna pay for later.
Well, they say that chili peppers is good for your testosterone. So
really,
yeah. So
man,
I don't know. Maybe that spice falls in the same vein. Sure. All right. So I've got the mental tip of the day. So if you guys are new to the Entrefluential Life podcast, we go through physical and spiritual, and then Entrefluential tips of the day on every episode. So Sebastian just brought in the physical tip of the day. Sometimes physical is about a fitness exercise that you can do. Other times it's about food, because everything that has to do with it. We talk sometimes about your mindset, because that's also physical, right? Your physicality.
Exactly.
So we talk about physical wellness, and so food is definitely has a major impact on how you carry your body, how your body performs for you. Now we're going to go into the mental tip of the day, and I have that one. So again, we're continuing on with our series from the 12 Rules of Success by Earl Nightingale. And this one today is number 10. Don't talk about your health unless it is good. And the reason why is because if you go and talk to somebody, like I'm meeting Sebastian, right? And hey, how are you doing today, Sebastian? Good. How are you doing? Sebastian?
Doing
good.
Good.
And you ask me how I'm. Oh man, I'm sick, man. I've got the flu. How do you feel right now? If I just told you I got the flu.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
6
right?
feet, back to 2020.
Right?
Let's bring it back 6 feet.
Right? He starts getting nervous.
Yeah.
So do you think he's going to be paying attention to what I say next? Maybe I have some good information.
Right.
But he's not going to hear my information because he's just freaking paranoid right now.
He's thinking about, you just told me you're sick and now you're...
Right?
Exactly.
Right? Or if I complain about, my teeth hurt, or my back hurts all the time, or, I got this sore leg. It's all negative. It's negative Nelly, Debbie Downer. People don't want to hear that kind of stuff. Listen, you might be dealing with it, but this is not the time to bring that stuff out. That's pillow talk. Take it at home with your spouse. Don't mention it in the introduction to
your
people,
social settings,
right?
Yeah.
When you're in, talking to a colleague or meeting somebody new, you don't want to bring out that bad health. But if you're in great health, you feel fantastic, then bring that out, because people like to hear that. Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I went running this morning. I did a mile run, half a mile run, hit the gym. I'm feeling great, man. That is motivating, right? That's inspiring. People like to see people that are taking action. We love physical attraction, and just the fact that you say that you're exercising means that you're heading towards a better future, even if you're not there just
Working
yet.
on it, exactly.
You're working on it, and people admire that. So yeah, I'm doing great, man. Working out every day. How about you? How are you doing?
Exactly. Doing great.
Right? You love it.
Yeah.
You know, like now you want to bring something
exactly.
back positive too.
Yeah.
Start the conversation positive, right?
That's
So
right.
so tip, don't talk about your health unless it is good.
And kind of like what you said last week, you can turn a bad thing into a good thing. Like, oh, I'm climbing over this mountain, you know, like I'm getting over this hill. It's kind of like if someone's going through, maybe they have a bad knee or something, like, oh yeah, I was having some pains with my knee, but today I went for a good run, and now I feel like I'm getting back into it.
Right.
So even if you need to like let it off a little bit or something, or something, you know, along those lines, you can just flip it around and just, instead of being negative about it, you can be positive about that. Like, okay, I'm going through this, but I'm fighting through it, and that makes the people around you see you're a fighter.
Yeah.
And that's also something that'll make them look up to you as well, if you're not too negative about it. You know,
right.
There's a fine line of
right.
complaining too much.
Yep.
I've done it myself, and
yep.
I've noticed that people around me, if I'm complaining, they don't want to be around that.
100%.
You know, so they don't want to be around somebody that's always negative, because it brings them a bad time too.
It does.
That's why that tip by Earl Nightingale is so great,
right.
and it correlates with the one from last week, because it's all about having that positivity out there and putting it into the air, so you're always being negative.
Yep.
So that's why don't talk about your health unless it's good. You know.
Exactly. Don't talk about your health unless it's good. So because we're mirroring, right?
That's the thing. Yes.
We're mirroring, and so a conversation that is happening back and forth. There's energy that's being transmitted back and forth between the two parties that are engaged in the conversation. And so what you want to do is you want to raise that other person up. Yes. You want to start off at a high level of frequency, high energy frequency, and you want to raise that person up to a high frequency as well. Exactly. So that when they leave like a light bulb that turned on, charged up. Because then they're gonna remember how you made them feel, and they're gonna want to spend more time with you in the future.
That reminds me of a quote. I don't know exactly who said it, but there was something I saw somewhere, if it was in a movie or whatever, just a quote on social media. But it said something along the lines of, a person might not remember what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel.
I love that. I remember that. I've heard that.
Yeah,
I love it.
I forget where it's from.
So wise.
But that's a great. They'll always remember how you made them feel.
100%.
So
love it.
You want to make everyone feel good.
Absolutely, man.
They can remember you in a good light.
In a great light.
I like being around him. He makes me light up.
Yes.
He makes the world light up.
Yes.
Because it's all about the perspective.
Yes.
So,
yes. Yes. Yes.
Raise the other
person. That's our goal, man. Our goal is to light people up.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes.
All right. So that's the mental tip of the day. Now you're going to bring the spiritual tip of the day,
that's
right?
Right. So now we're going to be reading. Let's see which one we're on today. 2 Kings. So the second book of Kings. And like always, we're reading from Living the 66 Books of the Bible by Dr. David Jeremiah. Let you guys get a good peek at that.
Love it.
All right. Lots of Kings. That's the story of this book, which covers the history of the Jews after Solomon. The nation divided into two kingdoms. The northern kingdom began serving foreign gods from the beginning, and it was destroyed by Assyria in 722 BC. The southern kingdom had periods of revival, but fell to the Babylonians in 586 BC. Most of the kings were corrupt, but there were some heroes, not only among the monarchs, but among the prophets. Perhaps the most exciting stories involve Elijah and Elisha, and we can learn rich spiritual lessons from their lives. In 2 Kings 6, the king of Syria sent his army to Dothan to trap and destroy Elisha. Troops surrounded the city by night. The next morning, Elisha's servant realized what was happening and cried out, "Alas," but Elisha said, "Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." Verses 15 through 16. The Lord opened the servant's eyes to see the invisible armies of the heavenly hosts who were there to protect God's servants. So it's like your guardian angels. Mm-hmm. Whenever you see the words "do not fear" in the Bible, pay attention. In this case, fear was unfounded because of angelic helpers The same help is afforded to us more times than we know. Psalm 34:7 says, "The angel of the Lord encamps all around those who fear him." And Psalm 91:11 says, "He shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all their ways." When you are walking with the Lord, you needn't fear because you're in good hands. The key theme, we, like Elijah, should live with confidence in chaotic times, for we are protected by the invisible armies of the Lord's hosts. Our key challenge, when you are tempted to succumb to fear, claim this promise: I have angelic helpers who are always with me. The key verse, and Elisha prayed and said, "Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see." Then the Lord opened his eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. 2 Kings, verse 6:17. The key prayer, Heavenly Father, help me to live confidently, knowing you are protecting me and guiding me through every situation I encounter in life.
Love it. So, one of the things that I thought about when you were reading that was before I went all in, and I had what I think of as my spiritual baptism, I got into a lot of trouble and I found myself in a lot of dangerous situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then as of 2007, I find that I could barely count the dangerous situations that I've been in. I could barely count it. I would say that the percentage, like ballpark figure, went from like 90% dangerous situations to like 10% dangerous situations. And the reason why is because when you go all in with God and you invite the Holy Spirit to live inside of you, right? God within you, then you're guided, right? It's like when you log on to Wi-Fi with your phone. Remember, I mentioned this before. Like the closer you are, the more filled with the Holy Spirit you are, the more closer you are to God.
The stronger your connection.
The stronger your connection is, and the more guidance you receive. Right? It's that that intuition. And let me give you an example
of hear his voice more.
You can, and let me tell you, like that intuition is real. And I'm gonna give you a clear example. I've used this before as an example. If you go outside right now, where there's people, like go to the grocery store, for instance, right? Go to Publix and go stare at somebody across the hall from you and see if they don't turn around and look at you.
I remember you were telling me.
They will make eye contact with you because they will feel you staring at them and they'll look directly at you.
Yes.
They'll know that you're looking at them, right? And so you can do that in a whole bunch of different scenarios. You can be in your car and look at a person in another car. You can look at the rearview mirror and you'll make eye contact with the person behind you. Because there's a natural connection. It's extrasensory perception, ESP. And the more intuition, the more alignment you have with God, the Holy Spirit living inside of you, God's Spirit living inside of you, then the more ability you'll have, the stronger ability you'll have to avoid dangerous situations, dangerous problems. You will have,
or meeting the wrong people,
or you'll completely steer clear of that environment, and you'll be heading in a direction where God is guiding your pathway, so that you can be useful for Him, right? To be a pillar, basically walking as a miniature version of Jesus Christ which is God, when He was on earth. He gave a role model. He was a template, if you will, of how a human being should behave.
Yes.
He was loving. He was sacrificial. Right? He wasn't snobbish. You were talking the other day about the restaurants and how people go to church. And guys, this is a wake-up call. Man. If you go to church and you're dressed up really nice and fancy and all that, then afterwards you go to
snob in the restaurant to your servers, man.
That's right. That's the worst interpretation that you can give. The worst representation that you can give to people who need God. That you go in there after church and you feel like you're higher than thou, and you look down on your servers and you think that you're better than them. You're making a bad impression on those people. So don't do that. Be humble like Jesus, because that's who you should be representing, right? Jesus didn't walk around in fancy clothes like the Pharisees and Sadducees. He wore humble clothes, and he was a humble person, and he sat with sinners, okay? Go do that. Go do that and share good news. Share how your life has changed because you follow this new pathway.
Absolutely, and I'm really glad that you brought that up because there's too many
hypocrites,
Christians out there that are hypocritical, and they go out there and they think that they're better than everyone because they're a Christian and they believe in God and this and that, and that's not what it's about. And especially they go in there with their suits on and they think that, I mean, it feels great to wear nice clothes. Yeah, it's good to go out and you look sharp, but just because you're sitting there in the suit doesn't make you a CEO of the restaurant. You know, like that's how they feel. They walk in there and they act like they own the building.
And the CEO wouldn't act that way anyways.
Exactly. No,
it's just a false artifice in their mind.
It's the people that aren't there that want to act like they are. You know? Like they really
a higher status.
Exactly. They're not up there, but they think they act like they're higher than you. And then if you're their server,
and they're just being judgy, man. They're just judging people.
And it's just that energy. Like their attitude, their presence is like almost like we're so caught up in our thing. Like, oh, we almost forgot that we're at a restaurant and you have to bring us our food, and we're not going to move anything to get out of your way.
You're my servant.
That's how they treat you. That's how they treat you, like a servant. So it's very wrong to do that. Go out there
just be humble.
And be positive and be humble and be nice to your waiters.
Be nice
to the people that you come across. You know, don't have that cocky attitude.
No, if you actually want to make a good impression and you want to lead them to Christ, you want to lead them to a relationship with God, then you should be nicer to them than anybody. You
should be more inviting. Yes, exactly. If they have this,
make them want to know why you're such a good person.
Exactly.
You know, they're not seeing that if you're being snobby in the restaurant.
They're not, and I've seen too many of too many of the church trips. At the church on
it's funny because you were talking about it on Sunday, which was a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I remember the exact same thing when I was working as a waiter when I was 20 years old. Okay, I'm 48. That's 28 years and it's still happening. It's ridiculous. That's why I got heated about it.
Yeah,
like I can't believe 28 years later this shit's still happening. I'm sorry, I just cursed right now, but it pisses me off.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, change your ways.
Have the humility.
Yeah.
Be humble. Don't think just because you're going in there in nice clothes and just because you got back from church with your family and friends that you own the building and everything. You know, be a good steward. You know, and be inviting to people to. Oh, you guys got back from church? How was that?
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta invite the people to want to talk to you because they have the energy that makes you just want to look the other way.
Exactly. You make them want to quit their job. That was terrible.
They definitely can. They can be rude too. You know, so don't be like that.
Here's a parable, right? Salt. You go in there like you're salt, right? Salt of the earth, right? Salt is no good if it just stays in the jar. Salt tastes good and useful when it gets put on the meat. Okay. So how are you showing up and putting yourself on the meat, or are you just staying in the jar? You've got to get seasoned with the meat. Okay, that's what Jesus sat with the sinners, man. Like you know, don't stay in the jar. Okay, don't stay there looking pretty in the jar. Like get on the meat.
And you know what else that like kind of comes to mind? I don't know, I forget where I've heard this from, but something like salt and sugar look exactly the same. So
don't make the mistake of drinking
be
salt.
Salty, be sweet, you know? Exactly. Because they both look the same. You don't know what you're gonna get.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. All right, guys. So that was the spiritual tip of the day, and I think it was freaking awesome as always.
That was great. That was
love it. Love it. Okay, so what's next? Entrefluential tip of the day, right?
Entrefluential tip.
All right, this is mine. So we're back to me. And so now this comes from an article that I read from Harvard Business School. They have a publication called Working Knowledge. And the title of this article is Identify Great Customers from Their First Purchase by Kristen Sense. So the big idea of this article is that using data from the very first transaction, you can identify shoppers who will create the best long-term value. You might hear long-term value as lifetime customer value, LCV. So using transaction information, you can identify who the best clients are going to be long-term, right? Mm-hmm. So here's what the article talks about. There were two researchers, one from Harvard Business School, the other one from Columbia Business School, that were working with machine learning to make predictions about customers' future behavior, right? Forecasting, right?
Yep.
They devised an algorithm that analyzes more than 40 variables to create a first impression of a customer after an initial transaction. Then it predicts which customers will become repeat buyers and which will be most responsive to email campaigns. That is really, really good for internet marketers, for content creators. That information is very, very valuable. So the benefit of doing this research is improved marketing strategies and higher return on investment.
Yeah.
So they tested data on 13,000 shoppers of beauty products that were purchased from 6 different markets over a 4-year period. They extracted 6 variables that represent first-time customers' acquisition behavior. These 6 variables were: 1, whether they purchased online or offline; 2, the number of items that they purchased; 3, the prices that they paid; 4, whether or not there was a discount attached to the purchase; 5, whether the purchase was made during a holiday or a special promotion;
Mm-hmm.
and then number 6, whether the customer purchased a newly released product.
Mm.
Now, here's 3 things that came to light in this those 6 different variables. Number 1, the takeaway, right? What were the lessons learned? The takeaway were, number 1, people who bought more products in stores were more likely to become repeat customers.
Mm.
So you have more repeat customers from an in-person experience than online. That's really interesting information, right?
Yeah.
So if you're just completely online, you might want to start thinking about how can you have some in-person experiences so that you can create more lifetime customers.
Exactly. You build rapport with those customers.
You build rapport when you're face-to-face. It's a whole lot different, right? It's a whole lot easier.
It's a lot different in person than online.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because online it's too detached.
It is,
right?
Yes, but when you're there in person,
it's
you can
personable.
show your personality.
Yeah,
it's personable.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. You can have
energy,
a human connection. Yep.
Yes.
Second thing, people who bought newly released products are potential high-value customers.
Wow.
Right? The person who wants the next best iPhone, the next Samsung, right? So if they're buying a new released item, they've got money. They're willing to spend more money. They're a high-value client. They will spend more money.
Yes.
So you might be able to look at, if you're looking at market research, you might be able to look at what other items are people buying that are brand new, like the brand new iPhone. Like if you can use it as a trigger, right? Like if you're doing a Facebook ad campaign, you might create a lookalike audience for people who bought the last iPhone 14.
Oh, and you can find what they would like.
Because if they're buying the brand new iPhone or the brand new Samsung, then they're more likely to spend more money on the products or services that you're marketing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
All right, or a brand new car for that matter, right? You can use target people who just bought a brand new car in the last 12 months. They're high value clients.
You can even create something that can work for the iPhone, like an attachment,
right?
Like
sure.
A camera attachment or something like that, like different lenses, stuff like that, different products that can relate to the new iPhone or the new car or something like that, like different things that you can piggyback off of that, because iPhone's got their products and then people make all types of
that's great for affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
That's great. So if you can look and see what connecting devices go along with, or even a case, right? A case for all kinds of accessories.
Maybe a sticker
for an iPhone 14. You might want to present those accessories to your, especially now at Christmas time, right? Because Christmas time is when people are going to be buying those upgrades for their family members.
Exactly.
So now would be a good time to offer those types of ancillary products.
Yes.
For affiliate sales commissions.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So the third takeaway was that people who bought discounted products or during the holidays were considered low value, which means low price customers, or one-time customers. So there's a correlation there. If you see that they're taking advantage of a discount, or they're only buying during the holiday, they're like one-time customers, or they're not going to spend that much money with you. So you don't want to spend that much money on trying to target those people. Your advertising dollars are better spent with the high value
people that are going to be returning
on the high value customers.
Exactly.
So that's another interesting thing you might want to use. Like if you're doing like a Facebook ad campaign and you're look for people that bought new phone or new car in the past 12 months, but exclude people who had a discount.
Exactly.
Like attached to any purchases on the past 12 months, right?
Yeah.
So that might. In some kind of way, that might help you to use your advertising dollars better.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that was it, man. That was the key takeaway for identifying first-time purchase customers, identifying specific variables that you could use to target your high customer value, long-term repeat customers.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
Cool, man.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you. I love bringing this kind of information
with what we're teaching everyone else and what we're
entrepreneurship,
doing, entrepreneurs, the influencers, content creators.
100%.
You find your audience, find what they want, and you give them what they want.
100%. That's the goal.
And you can make money through affiliate sales by showing them things related to what they want.
Exactly.
You know? So that's a great.
Yep.
Those are all great tips.
Right. Thank you. I love this too, man. It was from again Kristen Sens from I hope I pronounced your name right. Sorry if I didn't. From Working Knowledge from Harvard Business School. Hey man, if you're going to learn about business, why not learn from Harvard or Columbia or Yale, or Princeton? Why not? Right? They got articles, and we can read them, and we can share this information with each other, right?
Exactly.
Let's go.
Yes, exactly. That was great.
Oh man, I want to take a minute to also share a little bit from this book too. I've been reading called The Go Giver. Actually, you know what? This book, The Go Giver, it's from 2007. I highly recommend you go find this book. I'll put a link into it in the show notes so that you guys can find it. It talks about different laws. Basically, Go Giver, here's the key takeaway. Give, like Gary Vaynerchuk says. Give, then ask. Give, then ask, right? So start by giving value to build up your brand recognition. Give value all the time. 3-to-1 ratio. Give, value. Give away something, give knowledge, and then ask for a sell, right? And when you're asking for that sell, it's got to be something that is of value to the customer as well, just like we're talking about with the affiliate sales. So good book.
I love that. I'm excited to read that, and it also makes me think of something as you were saying that. I love the aspect of give, and then you ask for the sale, but also on the other hand, it helps you with a little bit with life. It's almost like a life lesson, because if you give more in life, if you give more than what you're asking for, you will be rewarded. But if all you do is ask, God, can you give me this? Can you do this for me? And you're not doing any work for it, you're not going to get jack.
Right.
So I love that, because it made me think of a life lesson that I have learned is you got to put in the work, and you got to give more than you ask.
Absolutely.
Because then when you do ask, It'll be able to receive, because it'll be rewarded. It'll be deserving.
You have earned it.
Exactly.
You will have
put in
earned
the work to earn that.
100%.
I was a big asker, oh God, can you just do this for me? Can you do this? And I never put myself in a position to have to work for it, and to put any work towards it. So I was never deserving of these things that I had asked for before. But then later on in life, I realized that I had certain things that I got, like a phone or maybe this Apple Watch or a car at one point in the time of need, that it was because I did something else. It was because of certain things that I stayed down, I went through a certain situation, and I just held my head high, and I kept believing that in the end it's going to work out for itself.
And God gave you rewards.
God rewarded me with what I had asked for. And it wasn't always in the same time that I wanted it. It might have been a couple of years later. But I realized that there are certain things that I asked for that He gave me, not in the right moment. I mean, it was in the right moment. It wasn't in my right moment, but it was for His right moment. It was in His timing that I got it, and then I was able to realize, wow, this is what I had asked for before. I can't believe I have this now. Just even simple things. I got the AirPods. I was so excited that I was able to pay for the AirPods, because I was like, okay, I'm making some money. Let me splurge on myself a little bit. And so I got those, and I was so excited to not have the wire. So I'm in the gym, I can work out, not have to worry about having my phone in my pockets when I'm doing curls or whatever it is. And I'm the dumbbell comes to the side, I'm always knocking it on my phone. So it's not a huge thing where I can't work out with regular headphones. Obviously I can, but it's nice that I can just put my phone over on the side. I don't need to have the wired headphones. I can have the Bluetooth. I can go and do my workout.
You're free.
Exactly. I can do anything. Use my legs, not having to worry about my phone falling out.
And you feel like you were able to get those iPods because of the way you were living your lifestyle?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Certain things that I had to sacrifice or whatever in the moment. It was after the sacrifice then came the reward. And I was able to get that, and I got this Apple Watch, and I can see how many calories I'm burning. I can see the time like this. I can see the seconds that are going on, and the time and everything. It's like little things like that. That's like some people are like, oh, that's whatever. But for me, it means a lot to me.
There's a correlation.
It's a reward for my sacrifice.
So I love that you're sharing this story, Sebastian, because what you're doing is you're connecting the dots.
Yes.
And so, like, what happens is a lot of people, they don't, like, people who are like living a secular lifestyle, they might have like a what if question mark, like maybe there is a God, maybe there isn't, but I don't know if it even relates to me or not. They haven't connected the dots, right?
Yeah,
and you can't connect the dots if you don't have information, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of information about how secular living is because it's bombarded on you, right?
Yeah.
From the time that you start getting exposure to social media or toys or whatever, elementary school kids, the environment that you're in, your parents.
Being around
There's a lot of bad parents that have bad habits that are exposing that to their children. I'm talking about drug dealers, prostitution. There's a lot of bad habits that are out there that trickle down generation after generation.
Alcoholics, alcoholism,
unfortunately,
all kinds of things.
Oh yeah, abuse of drugs and alcohol.
Everything
Right. So
emotional.
Oh yeah,
traumas and stuff.
100%.
There's all types of.
And so, like, a lot of people are just born into that exposure,
Exactly.
and so they don't even know what it's like to take information like this, which deciphers the Bible, and then actually apply those things to your life, and then start connecting. Then, after you see what the rules are, how do you live your life, then you start connecting the dots because you start applying it in your life, and you're like, wait a minute, here's how this came into fruition in my life. This is how I saw the results from that. And over a long period of time, like me, since 2007, walking in this path, it stacks up. Then you're like, oh, look at the degrees, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees after 2007, all because the mindset got right.
Exactly.
So I love that you're connecting the dots with the iPhone, the iPods. Again, because it is a giving type of a relationship that you have with God.
Yeah.
God says to give to others because it's a blessing. The blessing will be returned to you. So live that life in your business. Okay.
Yes.
This is what this book is talking about. Give to others, to people who you want to serve, and then you'll see that the blessings will come back to you. Your business will grow. And you have one of the 5 laws in here is that you do have to ask for business, right? You have to ask to make a profit. You've got to make a living. So when you do make that ask, right? You've give. It's time to ask. You're going to ask in a way that you're still serving whoever it is that your client is. You're serving them and by offering your products or your services that are beneficial to them, right?
Exactly.
You're not trying to swindle nobody. You're offering them something of value.
You give them a bunch of free content, and then you're like, okay, here's some other content that you can get.
That'll take you to the next level.
Exactly, and I'll tailor this thing for you. I'll go into depth for you. I'll walk your hand. I'll hold your hand through this.
To make this apply for you.
Everything exactly.
To take you to a solution, right?
Exactly, because you can learn a lot from free content, but when you have that teacher doing it one-on-one with you, really showing you what they know, you pick their brain and you learn from them.
Right, and actually physically do it.
It's just like you can catch a fish for a man and feed him for one day. You could teach him how to fish and you feed him for his whole life.
Exactly. I love that saying. I love that.
Me too.
So that's
principle.
That's it. And so you should be paid, right? We should all be paid handsomely for that service that we provide.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So dive in deep.
Both parties benefit.
Roll up your sleeves and dive in with your clients and help them, service them that way. So give them ask and
And it's good to some people might be afraid to ask for the money, but the thing is you also have to value your time.
100%.
So, it's not just, I'm asking you to pay for this and I'm giving you a bull crap course. No, you're giving them a good course and you're putting your time and energy behind it to help them succeed.
And support.
So they're not just paying for your course, they're paying for you too.
100%.
And your time is worth it.
You have to be connected to it.
Exactly.
Right. So, you have to be part of the course offering. You've got to give yourself included in that course.
That's the difference between these people that do these hanky-panky, these BS courses, like from certain trainers and stuff. They'll pay for this, and then somebody signs up for it and it's not what they thought it was going to be. The material is not that good or whatever, and anything.
If you do that, you're not going to have follow through clients.
No, exactly.
They will stick around.
They're going to be sort of leaving bad
It'll be
reviews.
one and done, and you'll be done.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just selling your course; you're selling yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the
100%. All right, man. So that's
right.
That concludes the Entrefluential tip of the day, and
That's right.
you're gonna go ahead and close off with a motivational message.
That's right. The motivational quote of the day. Today it is: no pressure, no diamonds. No pressure, no pearl. No pain, no gain. No cocoon, no beautiful butterfly. It's the uncertain, dark, unclear, and broken times that we learn who we are and what we are capable of.
I love that.
That's by Kemi Nola.
I love that. You've got to change your environment in order to have change on the outside, changing your life.
And you got to go through the rough times to be able to get to the other side. You got to go through that pressure to become the diamond, to become the pearl.
Yep.
You got to go through the cocoon to become the butterfly. You got to be stay down so you can come up.
Yep.
It's just like, it reminds me of the quote in Batman that Alfred asks Bruce. He says, "Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up."
I like that. I like that.
Know?
I like that. And I'm also, I think of the potter's clay. There's a story in the Bible where it references Jesus as being the potter, and us human beings are the clay. Like, we're just a block of clay, but then in Jesus' hands, he molds us and converts us into a beautiful pot, right?
Yeah.
So that's just an analogy, a reference point. So the ones that you mentioned right there, you might start off as a worm, but then you go into your cocoon, and then there's a metamorphosis that happens, and then you come out of the cocoon as a beautiful butterfly, right?
Exactly.
So you're transitioning from one thing to another, and I think it's important for entrepreneurs to number one, understand that you've got to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You've got to get into a high pressure environment in order to change. That's why there was a reference to the diamond.
Yep.
Cold pressure equals a diamond.
Yes.
And then you have to constantly put yourself into that new change environment in order to grow, or otherwise you become stagnant.
Exactly.
And you'll be good. You'll be remembered as like the thing that worked yesterday. I mean, look at Blockbuster Video.
That's right.
Right. So Blockbuster Video didn't evolve. You know, Blockbuster Video
was the new thing that was
and now you have
streaming services.
And now Netflix is online, right? They were at first you ordered the Netflix movies.
Wow.
And it was delivered to you at home. Yeah. Now Netflix is actually producing movies. They are the film production company.
That's right. They have TV shows, Netflix original.
Right.
Netflix movie
so
original.
It's become this ginormous industry.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Right.
And the reason why is because they're continuously evolving.
They continually change. They keep growing.
They keep evolving and growing and adding different things
they started off with.
Right, they're adding different venues. Like, oh, people love movies. Well, let's start renting movies to them. Oh, people love movies. Well, let's start making movies for them.
Right.
Hey, people love reality TV. Well, let's start making reality shows.
Exactly.
You know? So it's like you just continue evolving, and it feels uncomfortable to change.
Yeah.
And we get comfortable and complacent in our comfort zones, our status quo. We want to maintain the status quo, but you know what? Change status quo. Become avant-garde. Look at what the emerging trends are in the environment and jump on board those emerging trends that are happening. Maybe not in your industry. Maybe those emerging trends are happening. A trendsetter is doing something in a different industry, and you look at it and you say, whoa, look at what this person's doing in the cosmetics industry.
Right.
How can I bring that into my real estate industry? You can borrow stuff and bring it in.
Exactly. That makes me think of Arnold Schwarzenegger was giving a speech one time, and he was talking about how he used the same passion and drive that he had to win in bodybuilding. Yeah. Like he used for acting and going into politics and everything. You can use one thing and it can translate to multiple different fields. You can see someone doing, like you said, in the cosmetics industry, and wow, they're doing a great thing. Let me replicate this in my own way for my business, and for what you do is real estate and stuff like that. So you don't always just have to follow people that are in your industry. You can see what people are doing in multiple industries.
I love it.
You can learn something from everyone.
I wish I could do an Arnold Schwarzenegger accent right now.
I can't even do it either.
I can't.
Oh
I don't even
my
want
gosh,
to try.
that would be perfect.
Right?
Oh man.
But I will say, don't forget, you're my number one customer.
Oh my gosh, remember he said that to his wife in the movie?
Yeah. Oh no, honey, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I love that. And don't forget, you're my number one customer.
Single all the way.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is awesome, man. He's awesome. I wish I was friends with him.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Right? He'll be like 90 years old and a senior citizen.
We'll have him
He'll
on
be
the
happy.
show.
He'll be like, oh, thank you so much for bringing me over here. I was getting bored in the senior housing and the kids feed me applesauce. I don't want the applesauce. I want a steak. I still can pump you up. Push-ups. He's awesome. Yeah, I would love to be friends with that man. Anyway, okay, so just because he's just high energy, man, he's like such a great achiever.
I love his energy.
Multiple,
exactly.
like, he just achieves so much, man. It's just amazing.
And we can all do it too.
Right? Yeah. Absolutely. Like that's why we're here, man. Like go out there and crush it, man.
Yes,
like bring value to people, change, evolve, come up with new stuff, new trends. And here's something that I thought about this week, man, that I got so inspired to bring this information. I get so energized to bring this information because I was in Brunswick, Georgia the other day. I was getting gas. And I was telling the girl I was heading back to Jacksonville, the front clerk, and I was buying a Starbucks energy drink because I was tired. I wanted an energy drink, so the double shot, mocha drink.
While you're driving.
Right, I wanted to recharge myself so I could make it back to Jacksonville. And then when she was ringing me up, she said, "Oh, they have a special. It's 2 for $5." And it was like I was ready to pay $3.50 or whatever for it. And I said, 2 for $5. Well, I said, listen, I don't want a second one, but I tell you what, I'll buy the second one and I'll give it to you. Do you like Starbucks drinks? She's like, yeah. I said, okay, well, fine. I'll take advantage of that deal and give you the second one. So I bought the drink for her, right? And she was so blown away, and it got me thinking, she probably has never been exposed to entrepreneurship. She probably doesn't even know what a content creator is. Mm-hmm. And she's working at a gas station. And she looked like she was about 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, around that age. And I thought, you know what? There's a whole bunch of people in rural towns that have no idea how much opportunities out there, man. Right? Small town thinking. My dad's from a small town. He grew up in Nichols, Georgia, where the population when he was growing up was 700. They did not think about leaving the farm. You know what I mean?
That's all they do.
There's a lot of people that have that small town mentality, and the world is huge, and it's there for you to explore, man. Yes. And so we have a duty, like those of us who are born not entrepreneurs, like it's in our DNA. Like we have a duty to go out there and share this information with people, and say, guys, girls, you have an opportunity to change your environment completely. And really, you can visualize it. God gives us the strength to visualize a future. This is why I love Think and Grow Rich. It's up there, right there in the middle. Think and Grow Rich. You can change your environment by visualizing who you want to be in the future. Think about it. Whatever you want to be. Think about what motivates you and inspires you. And then reverse engineer your life. Start with the end in mind, right? That's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey. Begin with the end in mind. Take that image of who you want to be and what you want to own, write it all out on a piece of paper, and then reverse engineer your life. What do you need to do to accomplish that end goal? What do you need to do? Start backing it up. And if you have holes, gaps in your map, then start asking questions to people, because all you need to do is ask questions and you'll get the answers. It's out there. Exactly. And you'll fill in the blanks and you'll have your plan. And now I tell you, you're going to modify your plan as you go along. I guarantee you're going to modify it. But if you got that trajectory, man, it is there to guide you. And you're going to see amazing things happen. You'll look back and you'll say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I checkmarked this one and this one and this one and this one. It is freaking on fire. I am so stoked about that. Yeah. I'm stoked. Yes. I'm stoked. I want you guys to implement these ideas so that you can live the best version of your life now, right? Your best life now is about doing things the right way. That's what a real best life now is. Best life now isn't, oh, let me go get drunk and go hit the clubs up until 5 o'clock in the morning, see if I get laid before I go home. that's not your best life now. That is like a recipe for hangovers, a recipe for not getting stuff done, for keep repeating the same process over and over again, and you wake up and you're like, damn, 5 years went by and I haven't done nothing yet. That is not your best life. Your best life is like raising yourself up to a higher level performance. Like, go read High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard and learn the 6 laws that high performers apply in their lives, right? And then you'll start seeing your best life.
Exactly. And one thing about it is when you're sacrificing those certain things, and you can also have a work-play life balance too, where you can work your butt off
and then play hard.
You can hang out every now and then. You go and hang out with your friends and your family. You can go have fun without just only working and you never have fun.
Like we did when we went to the wine tasting, we had a great time.
We had a great time.
We do.
You didn't have to do too much. You
exactly.
have to go out and go extravaganza and be out all night long.
Right.
Try to be a party animal.
Right.
And sometimes you can go out and go dancing and have fun, but there's always the moderation.
Exactly.
One thing about life is that you sacrifice something to work on yourself, and the reward will come to you, and the help will come with whatever you need. You need the help. Eventually, it's going to find its way to you, and the help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who deserve it.
I love that. I love that.
Bring
Dumbledore.
Quote, you know?
I love Dumbledore, man. Dumbledore's
it's
awesome.
like he said Hogwarts, but I heard life. You know what I mean? Like I heard God will always give you help in life.
I love it,
man.
man.
If you need it, you deserve it.
I heard this other saying the other day that stop chasing the nightlife and start chasing the nights of your life. Right? Right? So make it big. Like, plan to do big things, like big vacations.
To save up for a big vacation, a little small
weekend,
quick pleasure,
weekend party,
like something super quick to go out and have fun, and you're blowing your money. Versus you could sacrifice a couple weekends, so going out every weekend, sacrifice, wait a couple of months, and then go out on a cruise and really have a great time.
Exactly. And go see some foreign countries.
You can get some souvenirs on the for
100%.
home.
The memories that you're gonna make with the people that you're with. That's great value, man. Absolutely. Raise your level up. And then other things like, man, you don't have to just go hit the nightclubs to go have fun with friends. You can actually hook up your friends, get together, and go rent a freaking yacht and hang out and do boating.
Charter a boat, go fishing,
for the day, right?
Yes.
Or go hang on a yacht and just cruise around downtown.
So it's not too much.
Exactly, $200 a couple, and then you've covered the cost of the yacht. Yep. Or rent a luxury car and then go drive a luxury car, like a Ferrari or a Lambo or something,
Yes.
Just experience it for a weekend. You don't have to own it to experience it. You can experience it for a short period of time, and that's fine. Or you could go and do things like, hey, let's take a weekend trip to this town over here. Like, let's go to Charlestown, or let's go kayaking in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes.
Let's go down to Miami and spend a couple of days down in Bayfront Park and Homestead, and then go see Vizcaya, right? Do some kind of fun things like that.
Exactly.
Weekend getaways, right? You don't have to be stuck in. We're in Jacksonville, Florida. We don't have to be stuck in Jacksonville. You can go to Tampa, go to Orlando.
You can go travel, do a road trip,
Exactly. Go out and do outdoorsy stuff. Go kayaking, go hiking. Go up to North Carolina and go see the 200 freaking waterfalls up there. Wouldn't that be awesome? Dude, they filmed Last of the Mohicans over there, man. Wow. And this guy was telling me about the waterfall, and you can actually go behind the waterfall.
What?
How cool would that be, man?
Wow.
Right?
Like a scene out of a movie.
Like, I'm dying to go, man.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go. Exactly. I want to go up to freaking Canada and go see where Good Witch was made.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be an awesome trip? And like bond with your family, find out what are these little nuances that you have, like little family sayings, quotes, movies that you like, and then go explore where that movie was made and stuff together. Like, those are great things to bond over. And those are lifetime memories that are way more valuable than what you won't even remember what you did at the nightclub on the weekend. Come on, you're gonna be so drunk, you'll pass out. You won't even remember what happened. You just know that you don't have that much money in your pocket the next day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Exactly.
Anyway, I went way too far, man. Like, I went way beyond the time on this, but I was excited about sharing this. It
was a great conversation.
Thank you so much. I always have a great conversation with you, man. I think we have this, I love this dynamic teamwork that we have going on, man.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, man. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We love being here and pouring into you guys, and we look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. But coming up next week, I have to plug this, man. So I'm creating a list of courses that I want to start doing.
That's right.
In addition to the Entrefluential Life podcast, we're going to come out once a week with a Facebook Live, it'll be like Facebook, Instagram Live, and we're going to share success tips, right? Some strategies on how to do TikTok, how to do Instagram posting, how to do Facebook ads and stuff. So we're going to teach you all these different strategies coming up next year that we use in the 10 pillars of entrefluential success. We're going to be doing that live for free, so you'll have an opportunity to not only learn from us like on this Tuesday night thing, but maybe like, I don't know when we're going to do it, maybe on Friday nights we'll start doing the broadcast for that too, the live broadcast. Share that information with you as well. Bring some more value. Plus, we're going to start filming those food commercials too, because we want to show you the stuff that you
cooking videos.
The cooking videos, right?
Exactly.
It'll be like a food commercial, but a little bit longer.
Exactly. Yep. We'll do a little how-to with the recipes.
Yes. And tell you where you can buy the stuff too to make it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. And I want
because we got to get paid too, so we make the affiliate commissions by doing that. So we appreciate your support on those things.
That's right.
We'll bring you value, and we want to get some value back. Win-win situation. Win-win scenario. Love it. All right, guys. So as we always wrap up with a message for you guys, and that is to go out there and amplify your message. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you guys. God bless you all. We'll see you next week.
All right.
We're signing out. Bye-bye, you guys. Bye-bye.